Hello everyone. In this video we'll discuss about one of the other important measuring instruments, which is the screw gauge. Now screw gauge, just like vernier calipers, right, is also a measuring instrument for the measurement of distances or lengths which are in the small range. In the sense, if you want to get the measurements with an higher accuracy, we'll be using the vernier calipers or the screw gauge. So what you see here is two sample diagrams for the screw gauge. So this is basically the normal screw gauge that we use in the laboratory. Okay, and this will be the one that we'll discuss. So here we have to actually take the reading everything. But what you see on the other side is a digital screw gauge, where the moment you see here there is a gap between these two. So this is where we are going to keep the object. So the object, let's say for example, we want to measure the diameter of the sphere, small sphere, we'll keep the sphere over there. Or we want to measure the thickness of a glass slab, we'll keep it here and then fix both these rods. We'll talk about what are the parts of the screw gauge and everything as we go into the discussion. But this is where we will hold that object for which we are trying to measure the dimension. And the moment you hold it and lock this nut or fix this nut, right, what you see here is that there will be reading that will appear over here. So we don't need to do anything else. Okay, that is the benefit of the digital screw gauge. So maybe some laboratories and all that, they will have the digital screw gauge, so it will actually ease up the entire job. But conventionally we will talk about this, the normal laboratory screw gauge. So when we want to understand about the screw gauge, first let us know what is the purpose of the screw gauge. So generally when we want to measure the lengths or distances, right, we use the meter scale. So meter scale means the least count of the meter scale will be 0.1 centimeter or 1 millimeter, the smallest division on that meter scale. But if we want to measure lengths with even more accuracy, like if you go for the vernier calipers, right, then we have seen in the vernier calipers video, we discussed about it, that we can measure lengths accurately up to 0.01 centimeter. So the least count of most of the common vernier calipers will be what, 0.01 centimeter. But if you want to take measurements with even more accuracy, okay, then we'll be using the screw gauge. So screw gauge, typically we can measure up to how much accuracy, 0.001 centimeter. Okay, so we'll have a higher accuracy than the vernier calipers. Okay, but vernier calipers has got its own advantages, because vernier calipers has got different positions where we can take the measurement. Like vernier calipers can be used to find the depth of a vessel, but screw gauge cannot be used to do that. So the applications that we can have from the screw gauge will be limited, because there is only one position where we can hold the object, that is the position between these two rods. Whereas in vernier calipers, maybe you can refer to the video on that, we'll have basically 3 positions where we can hold the object. Okay, accordingly we will be able to measure the outer diameter of the object like a sphere, or we can measure the inner diameter of a hollow cylinder, something like that. We can even measure the depth of the vessels. Okay, we will try to study the screw gauge in this video, and basically what we'll try to understand is, we'll try to see how the screw gauge is designed, what are the different parts of the screw gauge. Then we'll see what are the things that we need to know before we take the measurement. So before we even start using the screw gauge to take the measurement, right, we should know some things about the screw gauge working. So we'll talk about the working of the screw gauge, then we'll talk about the measurement. Okay, so first we'll start with the design of the screw gauge. Now if you look at the screw gauge, right, screw gauge will be working on the principle of micrometer screw. What is a micrometer screw? We'll talk about it. Okay, so basically what is a screw? Screw is something that we will be able to rotate, and then it will have a linear movement. So when you rotate a screw, what is going to happen? The screw will have a linear movement. Okay, so it is going to work on that principle. So when you rotate, the screw would be having a linear movement, and that is the basic principle of the screw gauge. Why the word micrometer has come, we will be able to know once we complete the discussion. Okay, so what will be the main parts of the screw gauge? We will have a U-shaped metal frame. You can see there is a U-shaped, you can see here, this is a U-shaped metal frame, which is what we are denoting with M. So there will be a U-shaped metal frame M. You can see on one end of the metal frame we have the fixed end A, other side we have the fixed end N. So what are the two things we have? We have one side of the U-shaped frame is what? A, other side is what? N. Okay, now at one end of it we'll have a metal piece A. There is a small metal piece A. Okay, so at one end of it we'll have a small metal piece A. What do we call it as? We'll be calling it as the stud. So this metal piece A will be called as what? Stud. It can be also called as the anvil. The metal piece A can be also called as what? Anvil. But here we don't need to discuss about those names and all that. Just having some idea will be sufficient. And we see it will have a plane surface. You can see here there is a plane face it is having. The other end N. So we said there is other end N, right? Look at this other end N. The other end N of the U-shaped metal frame M carries a cylindrical hub H. The other end N is carrying what? It is carrying a cylindrical hub. The hub H is what? Cylindrical. And on this hub you will see that there will be markings. So there will be graduations or markings. So this hub H is graduated in terms of what? Millimeter or half the millimeter. So this is basically the smallest division or least count of this particular scale. This is actually a scale. You know what we call it as? We'll be calling it as the linear scale or the pitch scale. So the cylindrical hub, we have markings, right? That itself is representing a scale. What do we call it as? We will be calling it as the linear scale or the pitch scale. Okay, there will be one more scale. By now itself we can see there is a part marked E. On that also you have some gradings, right? You know what we'll be calling it as? We'll discuss about it. We'll be calling it as what? Circular scale or the head scale. There will be a linear scale or a pitch scale, that is that cylindrical hub H, and you will have another scale called as what? The circular scale or the head scale. Like the way we discussed in the vernier calipers, right? Vernier calipers will have the main scale and the vernier scale. Total reading is going to come from both the main scale reading and the vernier scale reading. Here we are going to get the reading from both the scales. We will get the reading from the linear scale. Also we will get the reading from the circular scale. So let us see how it is going to happen. Now the design. Okay, a nut is threaded through the hub and the frame N. So the hub and frame N, right? You will have a nut that will be actually threaded. So there will be a nut that will be threaded. Okay, so there will be a nut that will be threaded through what? It is threaded through the frame N and the cylindrical hub. Okay, so these two will be fixed. We have to keep that in mind. The frame N or that cylindrical hub, they will not be moving. These two will be what? Fixed. But through them there will be a nut that will be threaded. Okay, and this nut will be able to move the screw S. The nut that is connected, so nut will be connected to the screw S on one side, and other side, right, it will be connected to the this side, right side part. We'll talk about the right side part later, but when we move the nut, obviously the screw will be moving. So when the screw is moving, right, what is going to happen? The plane face of the screw B will also start moving. So you can see the plane face of the screw B, right, is kept opposite to the plane face of the frame A. Okay, so these two, if they both, like say for example, the screw can either move this way or that way. So when it is coming and completely the plane faces of A and B are touching, right, that is what we will be calling as the zero position. That is what we will be calling it as what? The zero position. Okay, now we will see how this nut will be able to move the screw, because the nut is, I said, connected to something on the right side part, right? We will see what is there on the right side part. Okay, right side part, you will have a hollow cylindrical cap K, which is capable of rotating over the hub. So the K is what? It is a hollow cylindrical cap. It is like a cap. This will be capable of rotating over what? Over the hub. As I said, hub is what? Fixed. Hub will not move. So the thing is what? you will have the hub like this. So this cap will be able to rotate over the hub. I'll show you the visualization, we can understand that better. And when the cap is rotated, right, the nut is connected to that, as I said, so nut will be rotated, so screw also will be rotated. Okay, and as we rotate the cap, what we'll see, the screw will either have inward movement or outward movement. Means, you know, the screw will either move like this, the linear movement of the screw. As the screw is rotated, right, it will also have a linear movement. Okay, and we'll see either it will be moving inwards or outwards. And the surface E of the cap, so cap is K, there will be this, you know, curved surface. What do we call it as? We will call it as what? E. Okay, this curved surface will be divided into markings. Usually, you know what, it will be divided into markings of 50 or 100. Usually it will be divided into the markings of 50 or 100. And this scale that is formed on the part E, right, will be called as what? The circular scale or the head scale. What do we call this part as? Circular scale or the head scale. Okay, and the overall measurement of any particular object dimension, right, will be derived from both the linear scale reading and the circular scale reading. Okay, now what we will see is we will try to understand how actually this rotation of the screw will happen. So look at this. So you have a pictorial representation. So this is the cap K. Okay, this is the cap K. This is the A and B, you can see, and this is the screw. What is this? This is the screw. Okay, so this is the hub H. H is not moving, you can see. This is the N. You can see your H is not moving, N is also not moving. What is moving? When you rotate the cap, means what is happening? This is the part E. This is the part E where you have the circular scale. When you rotate the cap, what is happening? The nut, through the nut, the screw is able to rotate. Screw will either move inwards or outwards. And this is typically the way we will bring. So we'll have to bring the surface B touching the object. So whatever object you want to measure the dimension, right? Like in this case, we want to measure the diameter of a sphere. We'll keep the sphere in between the flat faces of A and B. We'll have to bring it in such a way that it will touch. Okay, once it is touching, means we'll fix this bolt. We'll fix the bolt and we can take the measurement. Okay, we'll talk about how do we take the measurement, but this is how the screw gauge is basically designed. Okay, now what we will do is we will try and understand what are the things that we need to know about the screw gauge before we go and take the measurements. But here one thing, right? So the part which is marked R, the part that is marked R, right? So it's called as what? Ratchet. What is it called as? Ratchet. Okay, so we'll move on to the working. Basically through the working, right, we will be able to understand those important things that we need to know before we go and see how do we take the measurements. So what happens, as we said, right, when the screw is rotated, in addition to the circular motion, the screw is also having what? Linear motion. You can see the screw is either linearly moving inwards or outwards. Okay, the screw head is basically what? Screw head is B here, that is either moving forward or backward along the axis of the screw. It is moving along the axis, correct? And when we complete one full rotation of the screw, means here the cap and the circular scale, they also will complete one full rotation. So when we complete one complete rotation of the cap, the circular scale also will have one complete rotation. Here the screw also will have one complete rotation. Then whatever the linear distance moved by the screw during one complete rotation, that is what we will be calling as the pitch. So what is the pitch of the screw? It is the linear distance moved by the screw when it is having one complete rotation. And you know, how do we measure that value? For that we cannot have one more scale here to measure it. You know where we are going to get it? We are going to get it from the pitch scale markings. Where are we going to get it from? we will be able to get the value from the pitch scale markings. You can see here, right, already pitch scale there are markings made. We will just have to rotate that cap for one complete rotation and see what is the distance moved on the pitch scale. We will have to see what is the distance moved on the pitch scale. You can see here, right, we can see what is the distance moved on the pitch scale for one complete rotation of the cap. One complete rotation of the cap means what? That will be equal to one complete rotation of the screw also. So usually this value, right, will be equal to the least count of the pitch. So this is not least count of the entire screw gauge. What is this? This is the least count, or we can say, if you don't want to confuse this with least count, means we can remove this word and you can say what? Smallest division, like that you can say. What is it? Smallest division on or of the pitch scale. So usually, because they don't want us to again confuse with the other things, they would design the screw gauge in such a way that the pitch value will be equal to what? The smallest division on the pitch scale. Okay, and that will be typically what? 1 millimeter. The smallest division of the pitch scale will be what? 1 millimeter. Okay, so this is how we'll have the pitch of the screw gauge measured. Okay, now using the pitch, we are going to talk about the most important thing for the measurements, whether it is the vernier calipers or the screw gauge. What is the most important thing for the measurement? It is the least count of the devices. Okay, so the least count will be depending upon the pitch. Least count will be depending upon what? Pitch. Okay, so look at this. If we have the circular scale, which is rotated through one circular scale division. If we have the circular scale is what? This E is the circular scale, right? If we are rotating by how much? Just this is the reference line. You know what we call it as? We will call it as what? The reference line. Okay, just think about it, or rotate it by getting just one division. So the circular scale is rotated through just one circular scale division. Then that is basically the minimum distance which can be accurately measured by using the screw gauge. What is the minimum distance that can be measured accurately by using screw gauge? Think about it. You just rotate that circular scale by how much? One division. Because we said what? The circular scale will typically have some either 50 divisions or 100 divisions. That is the usual thing. So usually the circular scale will have what? Either 50 divisions or 100 divisions. You just think about moving that circular scale by one division, and that value, right, is basically the smallest length which we can measure with accuracy by using the screw gauge. So this is what we call as the least count of the screw gauge. What is it called as? Least count of the screw gauge. How are we going to get it? Because remember it, if we rotate circular scale by one full rotation, for example, we will take the circular scale having 100 divisions. Imagine we'll take the circular scale having what? 100 divisions. If one full rotation means what? We are covering 100 divisions. For that, what is the distance covered on the linear scale or the pitch scale? It is what? The pitch value, which we said will be usually equal to what? 1 millimeter. So for 100 divisions of the circular scale, what is the distance moved? Pitch. You want to find out what is the length corresponding to one division of the circular scale. What is it? We want to find what is the length corresponding to one division of circular scale. You know how we are going to get it? What is it? It is nothing but the pitch value, because pitch value is corresponding to what? Total number of, because one rotation means we will cover total number of divisions on circular scale, right? We have to divide the pitch value by the total number of divisions on circular scale. That's it. That is going to give us the least count. Like in the example we are talking about it, right? This is the formula. This is the formula for the least count. So what is the least count formula in case of screw gauge? Pitch divided by total number of divisions on the circular scale. It may be 100, it may be 50. So whatever it is, we have to divide the pitch by the number of divisions on the circular scale. Okay. Now with the example we are talking about it, right? Let us say the pitch is 1 millimeter and there are 100 divisions on circular scale. Pitch is what? 1 millimeter and there are 100 divisions on circular scale. Then you see what will be the least count? 1 millimeter is the pitch, divided by 100, that will be equal to what? 0.01 mm or 0.001 centimeter. Remember in the initial discussion we said up to what accuracy we can get the lengths by using screw gauge. We said 0.001 centimeter, you can see here. And if you are trying to express it in terms of micrometer, because look at this, centimeter means what? 10 power minus 2 meter. Totally this is what? 10 power minus 5 meter, or we can say 10 micrometer. Mu is symbol for what? Micro, correct? So the least count of the screw gauge, right, is in what range? It is in the range of micrometer. So that is the reason why we call it as what? Micrometer screw. Remember we said, the screw gauge works on the principle of what? Micrometer screw. Why are we bringing in the word micrometer? Because the least count that we can get from the screw gauge will be what? It will be in the range of the micrometers. Okay, so we understood about the concept of the pitch and what is the least count. Now what we'll do is we will look at what is the measurement position, because in screw gauge we don't have multiple positions. Like you can see this person in a laboratory, he is typically taking some readings. Okay, let us not bother about those readings. Let us only focus on what is the measurement position. You can see where he is keeping, this is the flat surface A and this is the flat surface B. He is basically keeping the object, this is the spherical object. Where is he keeping? He is keeping it between the two flat surfaces, and here the nut is fixed. Once you make sure that the surface A and surface B are touching the sphere, what are you doing? You are basically fixing the nut. Now the position is ready to take the measurements. We will be shifting our focus onto the pitch scale and the circular scale, because once you fix it, right, we will just have to look at the main scale, or not, we don't call it as a main scale, we'll call it as what? The pitch scale or the linear scale. Okay, and the other scale is what? It is the circular scale or the head scale. What is the other one? Circular scale or the head scale. So we have to look at what is the reading on the linear scale. Linear scale can be also called as what? Pitch scale. Okay, so why I am emphasizing on both these words is because sometimes when we are getting questions in examination, right, they might either use the word circular scale or they might use the word head scale. Okay, and there are chances, again I am telling you, there are chances that some people, what they think, head scale means, okay, maybe it is like a main scale, so they will try to confuse this with the linear scale. We should not confuse, we have to be clear. Okay, so as I said, that main scale word, right, will usually not come in. Main scale word we will not use. What we are going to use? We will use the linear scale or the pitch scale. That is that hub, cylindrical hub. Okay, then we have the circular scale or the head scale. Okay, these names we have to be very much comfortable. Now this is the position which we have to hold that object before we go for the measurements. Okay, now we'll go for the measurement. How are we going to get the measurement? Okay, so when you see here, let us say here we are talking about a wire. We want to measure the thickness of the wire. In the previous representation, what I showed you spherical object being held between the two flat surfaces A and B. Here what are we holding? We are holding a wire. We are going to get what is the thickness of the wire. Okay, so we are holding the wire between the plane faces A and B. Okay, look at this. The edge of the cap lies ahead of the capital nth division of linear scale. Means what? The edge of the cap, this is the cap, right? What do you mean by edge of the cap? This is the edge of the cap. Edge of the cap is lying ahead of nth division of linear scale. Means, linear scale you have divisions, right? Let us say there is a division 10 like that. After that, the edge of the cap is starting. We have to focus on this 10. This is our capital N. This 10 will be what? Capital N. So I can also say it in another way. What is the linear scale marking which you can clearly see on the left side of the edge? That the edge is there, right? On the left side of the edge, you will have the marking of that linear scale. We can clearly see that is what will be the reading that is coming from the linear scale. Generally we will represent this by what? Capital N. We will represent this by what? Capital N. Okay. And then the small nth division of the circular scale lies over the reference line. So yeah, I said, there is a reference line. This is the reference line, right? This is the reference line. Circular scale, we have the markings. We'll have to look at what is the circular scale marking, which is either in line with the reference line, it's exactly matching with the reference line, or it is a little bit ahead. What is it? Either it is matching with the reference line or it is a little bit ahead. Okay. So means what? We have to, maybe it is the 44th division. It is like the 44th division on the circular scale, imagine. That is aligning with the reference line. Then we will take that small n value as what? 44. I'll explain this better by taking an example itself. Let us look at it. So by the way, the total reading is going to be what? Total reading will be what? The reading that is coming from the linear scale, which is what? Capital N, plus the reading coming from the circular scale will be what? The division that we are marking on the circular scale, small n value. How do you get it? The division on the circular scale that is in line with the reference or little bit ahead of reference. That's the one. Okay. So this small n, we have to multiply this with what? Least count. We have to multiply the small n value with what? Least count. Like say I said, right, we'll get a 44 means it will be what? 44 into least count. It will be what? 44 into least count. What is capital N representing? Capital N representing what? The linear scale reading or the pitch scale reading. So when we add both of them, right, linear scale reading plus circular scale reading, that is giving us the total reading. We will look at an example. So just take this. So we have, this is what? This is our linear scale. What is this? This is our linear scale. And here they are giving us what? One linear scale division is equal to what? 1 millimeter. What is one linear scale division? 1 millimeter. Okay. Now remember what we said? We have to check the edge. This is the edge. This is the edge. Edge is lying ahead of which division? In the linear scale we have the 10th division here. Clearly you can see. 10th division you can see. 11th division you are not able to see. You have to be clear here. Look at it. We can see what? On the left side. On the left side of that edge, what you can see? 10th division you can see. Are you able to see the 11th division? No. Means we have to take the 10th division on the linear scale as the linear scale division. What is the value of each linear scale division? 1 millimeter. Means the linear scale reading, what is it? It will be what? 10 into 1 millimeter, because what is the value of each division on the linear scale? 1 millimeter. So it is what? 10 millimeters. That is the reading from the linear scale. Now let us talk about the reading from the circular scale. What is it? Look at it. The small nth division of the circular scale, which is lying over the reference. What I said, it is either in line with, perfectly it will be in line with the reference or little bit ahead of reference. Look at this. This is 60, 61, 62, 63. Then what is there? 65. The 65th division of the circular scale is in line with the reference. The 65th marking on the circular scale is in line with the reference. Okay. Here they have also given us what is the least count value. What is the least count they are giving us? 0.01 millimeter. So remember, what is it? The circular scale reading. What is circular scale reading? It will be what? That small n value, which is here 65, into the least count. What is the least count? 0.01 mm. Okay, what is it? 0.65 mm. Now if you need to tell what is the total reading, what will be the answer? 10 millimeter is reading from the linear scale plus 0.65 millimeter is the reading from the circular scale. Totally what is it? 10.65 mm. Totally what is the reading? 10.65 mm. Okay, so this is how we are going to take the reading by using the screw gauge. So we have to look at what is the reading on the linear scale. So you see the edge, whatever marking you can see clearly on the left side of the edge, that is our reading on the linear scale. Simple. circular scale reading, you see which marking on the circular scale is in line with the reference. That's it. Total reading is what? Linear scale reading plus circular scale reading. Circular scale reading is what? The number division that you find on the circular scale into the least count. That is what is the reading from the circular scale. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll look at a question to check how good we have understood this particular concept. So look at this. A pitch of a screw gauge is what? 1 millimeter, which is also the smallest division on the pitch scale. I said no, this is what usually it will be the case. And there are 100 divisions on the circular scale. What is the number of divisions on the circular scale? It is what? 100. Means, guys, can we find out what is the least count? Because remember, what is the least count formula? What is the least count formula? Pitch divided by the number of divisions. Pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale, correct? What is the least count formula? Pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale, which is what? Pitch is 1 mm divided by what is the number of divisions on circular scale? 100. What is it going to be? 0.01 mm. So we'll just keep it 0.01 mm. This is what is our least count. Okay. In measuring the diameter of a sphere, I showed you in the position which we will use to take the measurements. I showed you we can use it for what? We can use a screw gauge to find what is the diameter of an object like a sphere. Okay. In measuring the diameter of a sphere, there are 6 divisions on the linear scale. What is the number of divisions on the linear scale? Means they are actually giving us the reading on the linear scale. What is the number of divisions? 6 divisions on the linear scale and 40 divisions on circular scale, coinciding with the reference line. So what is the reading on the linear scale or the pitch scale? How many divisions are there? 6 divisions. 6 into what is the grading on the linear scale or pitch scale? The smallest division is what? 1 millimeter, right? Means what? 6 into 1 millimeter. What is it? 6 into 1 millimeter. So how much it is going to be? It will be what? 6 millimeters. That is the reading coming from the linear scale or the pitch scale. Linear scale can be also called as what? The pitch scale. Then what about the reading on the circular scale? What is the reading on circular scale? How many divisions they are saying? 40 divisions on circular scale coincide with the reference line. Means what? Small n into least count. That is the reading from the circular scale. Here small n will be what? 40. 40 into what is the least count? 0.01 mm. Correct. What is it? 40 into 0.01 means it will be what? 0.4. How much it is? 0.4 mm. Okay. So now we have the reading from the linear scale. We have the reading from the circular scale. What is the total reading? It will be 6 mm, which is the reading from the linear scale or the pitch scale, plus 0.4 mm. What is it? 6.4 mm. How much it is? 6.4 mm. Okay. So this is how we will be able to get the reading from the screw gauge. Okay. So you can check it. You know what will be the reading? It will be what? 6.4 mm. So first we are getting the least count. Then we are just going for the measurement calculation. So measurement calculation will be coming from where? It will be coming from the linear scale reading and the circular scale reading. We can see here least count is what? The pitch is 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter divided by 100. What is it? 0.01 millimeter. Then what is the linear scale reading? It is 6 times 6 divisions, right? Which means what? 6 into 1 millimeter, because the smallest division is what? Pitch, which is equal to 1 mm. So 6 readings are there on the 6 divisions are there on the linear scale. Means the reading will be what? 6 into 1 millimeter, which is 6 millimeter. Okay. Now look at the circular scale reading. Which division is coinciding with the reference line? 40th division. So 40 into least count. That is what? 0.4 mm. So what is the total reading? Which is the linear scale reading 6 plus the circular scale reading 0.4, which will be totally 6.4 mm. Okay. So this is how we'll have questions mostly on the screw gauge when it is about finding the measurement. Okay, either we'll have questions asked on getting the least count value, or we'll have questions. Now, like we have seen in the case of vernier calipers, right, we could have some zero errors in the case of the screw gauge also. So what is this zero error? So generally for these measuring instruments, right, we'll talk about the zero position. So what is zero position? Already we have mentioned about it. You have these flat faces A and B which are just touching each other. That is what we call as the zero position. Now if you have a screw gauge which is accurately adjusted, what happens is when you bring these two faces touching each other, right, then what we'll see is that the zero of the circular scale should coincide with the reference line. See here, this is the reference line, and what is this? This is the zero. So this is a sort of accurately adjusted screw gauge. The zero of the circular scale is coinciding. It is in line with the reference line. Okay, so this is what we call as the accurately adjusted instrument. So in this case, what do we say? We will say there is no zero error. Correct. In this case, what do we say? There is no zero error. Now when the zero error will come? If the zero mark of the circular scale does not coincide with the reference line. You can see here, huh? So this is the reference line. See, division 5 is coinciding. Zero of the circular scale is not coinciding. Okay. See here, this is the reference line. Which division is coinciding? Division 95 is coinciding. Means in this case, what is it? The zero of that circular scale is behind. Okay, it is behind the reference. Here zero is what? Zero is what? Ahead. Here the zero of the circular scale is ahead. Here the zero of the circular scale is what? Behind. Accordingly, we are going to talk about two types of zero errors. But here we will just understand the concept of the zero error. So what is it? When we are bringing these faces A and B just touching each other, and you see that the circular scale zero is not coinciding with the reference line. We can have two scenarios here. Both of them, what do we say? There is a zero error. Now we have to understand the difference between them. One type of zero error, we will call it as a negative zero error. What do we call it as? Negative zero error. Okay, so what is this negative zero error? If you see, the zero of the circular scale is advancing ahead of the reference line. Means you see, the zero is what? It is advancing ahead of the reference line. In other words, see what is happening, particularly observe it. The marking 95. The marking 95 is coinciding with the reference line. The marking 95 is coinciding with the reference line. Okay. See, when we say marking 95, it is like what? That side means we can take positive. This side means what it is? Negative. So if you see 5, 10, 15, the other side is what? Positive. You are coming in the reverse direction. We will take it as what? Negative. So how many divisions it is behind? 95 means we are behind how many divisions? 5 divisions we are behind. Correct or not? So when the zero of that circular scale is ahead, means the reading on the circular scale is what? We will say negative reading, because it is in the reverse direction, right? The reading on the circular scale is what? Negative. Okay. So here in this particular example, right, the 95th division of the circular scale is coinciding with the reference line. So 95th division means what? We are having a 5 division mark in the opposite. So there are 5 divisions between the zero mark and the reference. How many divisions gap is there? There are 5 divisions, but in the opposite direction. So that is why we are taking it as what? Negative reading. 95 means we are not taking 95. So total 100 divisions means, if you are going to 95 means what? 95 is the reading that is coming here. It is like, the reading is in the opposite direction. How much? 5. What is the gap between the 0 and this one? 5 divisions, but in the reverse direction. Correct. So that is the reason why we are calling it as what? Negative zero error. We have to keep in mind clearly. Yeah? So in case of negative zero error, what is the formula for the zero error? Minus will come, minus the gap in the number of divisions between the 0 and the reference line. which is in this case is what, 5. Why is it coming as 5? Understand clearly. What is the gap between 0 and 95? 0 means we have completed 100, we will come back to 0, correct? So the gap between these two is what? 5 divisions. The gap between the two is what? 5 divisions, okay? So we'll have the gap as 5 but in the opposite direction. That is why we are taking the negative error to be what? Negative error. So 0 error is what? Minus 5 into the least count. That's it. So in this case, if the least count is, say for example, let us say 0.01 mm, then what will be the 0 error? Minus 5 into 0.01 mm. Totally what is it? Minus 0.05 mm. Like that it will come. One more thing we have to keep in mind about the 0 error in the negative sets. Look at this. When there is a negative 0 error, right, we will not be able to, maybe you can just make a note of it. In case of the negative 0 error, the 0 marking on pitch scale cannot be seen. We will not be able to see the 0 marking on the pitch scale here. We cannot see because it is like what? The circular scale is coming little bit this side. Circular scale is coming little bit this side. So we cannot see the 0 of the pitch scale or the linear scale. Okay, that is another thing about the. So whenever they say that the 0 of the pitch scale is covered or not visible, means that is a hint. What is the type of error that is existing there? Negative 0 error. Okay. Now let us see the other side. What is the other one? Positive 0 error. So here you see the 0 of the circular scale is behind the reference. You can see here 0 is what? Behind the reference line. This is the reference line. But you see what is the marking on circular scale coinciding with the reference line? Marking 5. What is the reading on circular scale? What is the reading that is coming to us? 5, right? So the reading on the circular scale will be what? Positive. Circular scale reading will be what? Positive. Negative error means circular scale reading will be negative. Positive means circular scale reading will be what? Positive. That is how simple we can remember. Okay. Now see, in this case what is happening? The fifth division of the circular scale is coinciding with the reference line. But in the previous case and this case, what is the difference? There it is fifth division on the reverse direction. That is why we took it as negative. Okay. So here fifth division in the forward direction, right? So the 5 divisions are marked between the 0 and the reference line. So what is the 0 error we are going to take? It will be what? Plus 5 into the least count. Same way, if the least count is, say for example 0.01 mm, then what will be the total 0 error? It will be what? Plus 0.05 mm will come. Okay. So this is how we are going to get the 0 error. And we can see one thing here, in case of positive 0 error, we can see the 0 of pitch scale. The 0 of the pitch scale is what? Visible. In case of negative 0 error, 0 of that pitch scale will not be visible. That is another difference between the negative 0 error and the positive 0 error. Now what about the absolute reading or the actual reading we are going to count? The absolute reading will be what? The total reading. What is this one? This is the total reading, right? This is what? Total reading. What is the total reading value? The pitch scale reading plus circular scale reading. Circular scale reading is what? The number division on the circular scale which is coinciding with the reference line into the least count. Okay. So total reading, whatever we get, from that we have to subtract the 0 error. Always the 0 errors will be what? Subtracted. From whichever measurement we are having, we have to subtract the 0 error to get the absolute reading. This is something that we have seen even in the case of the vernier calipers discussion also. Why I am trying to correlate between the vernier calipers and screw gauge is, other than the method of taking the measurement, other things more or less will remain the same. The way we deal with in case of the vernier calipers and the way we deal with in case of the screw gauge. Other than the method of measurement, remaining things will be what? Almost similar. Now there will be one more term sometimes we will keep hearing. The term is zero correction. Okay, so it is nothing different. Zero correction is basically something which will be equal to the 0 error in terms of magnitude, but opposite in terms of the sign. Say for example, I'm talking about zero error. So we have seen both the examples, right? Negative zero error means what? This is where I'm keeping minus 0.05 mm. Now what is the corresponding zero correction? Zero correction will be what? It will be having the same magnitude as the zero error, but opposite sign, means it will be what? Plus 0.05, like that. Okay, if the zero error is plus 0.05 mm, then what about the zero correction? I mean, how do we look at it? Just negative of the zero error, that's it. Now where do we use in terms of the formula? Look at this. What do we have? The absolute reading. What is the formula for the absolute reading? Absolute reading is equal to what? It will be equal to total reading minus zero error. But in place of this minus zero error, because what is the negative of zero error? Zero correction, right? We can also write it like this: total reading plus zero correction. How we can write it? Total reading plus zero correction, like that we can write. Okay, so zero errors are what? Subtracted from the total reading. We have to subtract the zero error, but zero corrections will be algebraically always added to the measured length. Measured length means what? Total reading, right? So zero error means subtracted, zero correction means what? Added, so that we will get the absolute value of the reading. Okay, so this is about how do we understand the zero error in case of the screw gauge. Now we'll look at a question. Look at this one. Circular head of a screw gauge is divided into 200 divisions. How many divisions? It is divided into 200 divisions, and moves 1 millimeter ahead in one revolution. Means it is moving 1 millimeter ahead. Look at this, guys. What is the pitch here? What is the distance moved in one full revolution? That is 1 millimeter. Okay, so we can find the least count. What is the least count? Pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale. Pitch divided by number of divisions on circular scale, correct? So 1 millimeter by 200. What is it? 1 millimeter by 200. Okay, you know how much it is going to be? It will be what? 0.005 mm. What is it? 0.005 mm. Okay, so this is what is the least count. Find the pitch and least count of the screw gauge. So we are able to get the pitch, we are able to find the least count also. Okay, if the same instrument has a zero error, so we'll just note it down. What is the zero error given to us? Like that in most of the questions, right, they will themselves give the zero error. What is the zero error? Minus 0.05 mm. Guys, what is this? Is it a positive zero error or negative zero error? It is a negative zero error. How do we say? Because you look at the sign, it is what? Negative. And reading on the main scale in the measurement of diameter wire is 6 mm. So I said generally we will not use the word main scale, but sometimes in questions like this, if they are using, then what is it that we need to understand? That they are referring to this as what? The pitch scale or the linear scale. What they are referring to? They are referring to the pitch scale or the linear scale. So what is the reading on that? It is 6 millimeter, and circular scale is 45. Means the 45th division of the circular scale, 45th division of the circular scale is coinciding with the reference line. That is what they mean. Okay, so look at it. What is the first we'll get the total reading. They are asking us to find what is the diameter. First we'll have to get the total reading. Total reading means what? The linear scale reading, which is 6 mm, plus what is the division on the circular scale coinciding with the reference line? 45. So 45 into, remember, 45 into, we have to multiply this with what? The least count, 0.005 mm. This is the total reading. What is this? This is the total reading. Okay, so now we have to simplify this. If we simplify this, means we will get the total reading. Okay, so we'll just do that simplification, and from the total reading already we got the pitch and least count. Those two parts of the question we already did. Now we are going to look at what is the diameter of the wire. We have to find what is the diameter of the wire. Okay, so look at this. So we are looking at the total reading part. What is total reading part? 6 mm plus this is what? 45 into 0.005. So we can write as what? 45 into 5 by 1000, like that we can write. Just at the time of the simplification. What is it? 5 5s are 25. 5 O's are 20. Okay, so totally which is what? 225 by 1000 means what? 0.225. So 6.225 mm. That is the total reading. That is the total reading. Okay. Now you look at it. What is the zero error in this case? Zero error is what? Minus 0.05 mm. So we are now going for the final answer. Because the final answer will be what? The absolute reading, correct? What will be the final answer? Final diameter will be what? Absolute reading, which is the total reading which we are getting from the instrument, 6.225 minus, we have to subtract the zero error, right? We have to do minus, what is zero error value? Minus 0.05. So minus minus becomes what? Plus. Minus minus becomes what? Plus. So look at this, 6.275 mm. So this is what is the absolute reading, or we'll say the actual diameter of the wire. What is the diameter of the wire? It is what? 6.275 millimeter. So we will take the total reading. From that we have to subtract the zero error. So zero error is already negative. So minus of minus becomes what? Positive it becomes. Okay. So this is how we are going to solve questions based on the zero error when it comes to the screw gauge. Now sometimes what happens is when we are using the screw gauge repeatedly, like even in your school laboratory, I'm sure most of the screw gauges you are going to use, they would have been using for quite some time, like multiple number of years, etc. What is generally observed is when the sense of rotation of the screw is suddenly changed, like you are rotating this way, suddenly you try to change it, the screw head will not move while you rotate the shell here. Rotate the shell here, you will not see that the screw is actually moving. Screw may not move forward or backward. So you are rotating in one way, the screw will keep moving. Suddenly you change. The moment you change, you will not see that the screw will start rotating in the opposite manner, or you will not see that the screw is moving in the reverse direction. Okay, so this will affect what? It will affect the actual movement of the screw, isn't it? Because so you're rotating in one way, screw should go forward. Imagine the moment you change the direction of rotation means screw should start coming backward, but due to the wear and tear and some other reasons, right, this will not happen for the screw gauges that we are using for quite some time. And as a result of it, what we are going to get, the readings that are coming to us will not be the accurate ones. And this type of an error that we'll get with the screw gauge is called as what? Backlash error. Why backlash? It's like when you're moving in one way, suddenly you try to reverse the direction, you will not see that the screw gauge is responding. The screw gauge, that screw should start moving in the opposite way, but sudden changes, it will not respond that. And this is due to what? This is due to the loose fitting of the screw sometimes, or it may even arise due to the wear and tear of the threading. Because if you are keep on using it for a long time, we'll say prolonged use. If you are keep on using it for a long time, right, we'll say what? The instrument will get the wear and tear. Okay, so when you go to the actual laboratory and see, you can check it. Like you're rotating for some time means it will rotate, the screw will go forward. Suddenly you try to change, the screw will not start coming backward as it is. It will take some time. So this is mainly for what? If you have a loose threading of that or you have wear and tear of the screw gauge. And basically what do you call this type of error as? Backlash error. And one of the very common errors in the case of the screw gauge is what? Backlash error. Maybe you can just remember it as a theoretical point. So in case you get some questions on screw gauge, theoretical questions, you will be able to answer it straight away. Okay, then we look at what is it that we have covered in the screw gauge overall. So first we talked about particularly with regard to the measurement, because the design aspect, everything is just to give us the clarity. But from the competitive examination point of view, we need to look at what? We need to look at the measurement part. So we have talked about the pitch. What is the pitch? It is the linear distance moved by the screw when it is given one complete rotation. And remember what we said, generally the pitch will be what? It will be the smallest division on the pitch scale or the linear scale. Okay, and from the pitch we will be able to calculate what is the least count. What is the formula for the least count? Least count will be equal to what? Pitch of that screw gauge divided by what? The number of divisions on the circular scale. Usually what will be the number of divisions on circular scale? It will be either 50 or 100. From there we can find what is the least count. Now least count will be used where? It will be used in taking the total reading from the screw gauge. Total reading will be what? It will be the linear scale reading. What is capital N representing linear scale reading? That is the division on the linear scale. We can clearly see on the left side of the edge. Okay, then we will have the circular scale reading. What is this small n? Small n is what? The division on circular scale. What is this? The division on circular scale, which is in line with the reference line. So when you keep the screw gauge in the measurement position, like you keep a wire in between the two faces A and B. Remember we talked about the two faces A and B. Okay, A face is attached to the U-shaped metal frame. B is attached to what? B is attached to the screw. We will hold the object like this. When you keep the screw gauge in the measurement position, we will see that the circular scale particular reading will be in line with the reference line. That is what is our small n. So small n we have to multiply with what? Least count. That is going to give us what is the circular scale reading. So linear scale reading plus circular scale reading is what? The total reading. Okay, now sometimes when we are using the screw gauge, we can have errors. We call them as what? Zero error. One particular type of error is what? Zero error. What is zero error? It is the error that we will have in the instrument. Even when we have the zero position, there is going to be some reading. So usually what happens? We can have either the negative zero error or the positive zero error. So negative zero error means what? The zero of the circular scale will be ahead of the reference. The reference is what we are focusing on, right? You see here, reference is matching with what? A division 95. Means here we will say we are counting in the opposite direction. We are counting in the opposite direction. That is the reason why negative. Okay, from 0 we will go that side means positive. From 0 we come this side means it will be what? Negative. So that is the reason why here we will take 0 as what? Negative. So what is the formula? It will be minus x. Here x represents what? X represents what? The number of divisions gap we have between the 0 and the reference line. The number of divisions gap you have between 0 and reference line. Here what is it? 5 divisions gap is there, but it is in the opposite orientation. That is why we are taking it as what? Negative. So minus x into least count. That is how we can get the negative zero error. One more thing we said about the negative zero error. What is it? When we have a negative zero error, we will not be able to see the zero on the pitch scale or the linear scale. We cannot see the zero on the pitch scale or the linear scale because the circular scale has actually moved little bit in this direction. It is covering the zero. Whereas in case of the positive zero error, you can see the zero. When we will get the positive zero error? When the zero of the circular scale is behind the reference line. So you see, circular scale is indicating what reading? Reading 5. Circular scale is indicating what reading? Reading 5. It will not be always 5, it will keep changing. So this is a positive reading that is coming on circular scale. What is it? It's a positive reading coming on the circular scale. That is the reason why we take it as what? Positive zero error. Same formula, but here we will have positive plus x into least count. X is what here? The number of divisions gap between 0 and reference line. What is it? Here the indication is what? 5. The reading is shown as what? 5. So we will take it as what? 5. Okay. So that is the difference between the negative zero error case and then positive zero error case. And whenever we are getting the absolute reading will be equal to what? Total reading which is the pitch scale reading and the circular scale reading total value. This is what total reading. This is what total reading. So from total reading, we have to subtract the zero error. From total reading, we have to subtract the zero error. Okay. So this is what we need to understand in terms of the screw gauge, and even we have seen some kind of questions that will be expected. So make sure that you are thorough in terms of the pitch, least count, and then taking the total value of measurement, and then measurement in case of the zero errors. So these are the things mostly, if you look at the past year questions also, whether it is the JEE mains or even NEET, we do get questions mostly on the measurement part of the screw gauge. Okay, we'll see in one more video about the measuring instruments.